thank all of you for attending. And I had for some time wondered how I was going to leverage my experience, my unique experience with this capital punishment situation into an advocacy, an effective advocacy for repeal. It just became almost clear to me how immoral it was to be training decent men and women how to take the life of a human being in the name of a public policy that cannot be shown to work. Not anymore asking men and women to go and fight a war that we don't believe in. It didn't make any more sense than asking citizens to put on a uniform and go and take so many other kinds of dangerous tasks, and you know that it's not going to be redemptive, and the likelihood that they're going to succeed are slim to none. Capital punishment was that type of a public policy for me at that point. And I realized then, at some point, not while I was in the capacity as superintendent, that I would wait for an opportunity to become an advocate for its ultimate repeal. And that's the genesis of how I have come to you today. There are people who have had to go through 89 executions. There's one person in here I'm going to talk about. He and his staff did 104 in Texas. These people have been traumatized, they've been victimized, and every state that has a capital punishment policy and procedure stands in the position of incrementally doing the same thing to its staff over time. We shouldn't rest on our laurels because we simply only done 2. You've got the equipment, you've got the policies and procedures, you've got the wherewithal to do the same thing that Texas has done, even though we like to think, oh, we'd never be like Texas. Well, get rid of the, prove it to me. Get rid of the capital punishment policies and procedures, and then I can see that we're different than Texas. Right now, I don't see that Oregon is that much different than Texas when it comes to having a capital punishment policy and procedure. Both states need to get rid of them. As a soldier, you can fly across enemy territory and you can mechanically or through computers release a bomb that you know mathematically or through training is going to cause the death of someone. And you can fly on back to base in your ironed uniform, barely sweating. It is so impersonal. We've asked many men and women to do that. But when you ask men and women to put on their uniforms and go and sit in a cell as close to a human being, and I can remember having to, say, I'm an old country boy. I can remember having to euthanize an old cow. I can remember having to put down a horse. I see a couple of people nodding their heads. That wasn't easy back then. And can you imagine going into a cell and sitting as close to an individual as I am, this gentleman, and talking to him about the process, and the process is designed to be as painless as possible, trying to get a human being to feel okay with the process that I'm called upon to administer. The state doesn't have the right to ask any employee to go through that in the name of a public policy that cannot be shown to work. The act of training decent men and women on how to take the life of a human being, regardless of their crime, in the name of a public policy that cannot be shown to work, is absolutely immoral. And we should get rid of the death penalty in the state of Oregon.